Good morning. Happy Friday. I'm meteorologist Kevin Smith here at the National Weather Service in Pocatello with your weather hazard briefing for Friday, July 15th, 2022. So we're still locked into the same weather pattern that we've all been experiencing here for most of the week now. So key points here for the next few days, it's a broken record. More heat, more thunderstorms expected across the region. Taking a look at today, best timing for thunderstorms based on our high-res models, very similar to what we've seen each day. We're looking at about 2 p.m. to 10 p.m., 2 p.m. to 8 p.m., with those storms ending last over toward the Wyoming border. Primary threats once again are going to be lightning and wind gusts over 50 miles an hour. The atmosphere is very similar to what it's looked like the last couple days, and this is what we've been experiencing with the stronger storms. A little bit of a lower secondary threat of maybe some pea to dime size hail and a few of the strongest thunderstorm cores out there. Not expected to be as prevalent as the lightning and wind threat, but that said, we have received some small hail reports over the last couple days with the thunderstorms, and we're expecting that once again. Only reason we didn't go all the way to high confidence here on our little gauge, there is some cloud cover working into the region this morning. May take the edge off of instability, at least initially, but the majority of our guidance, just about all of our models, are expecting the thunderstorm development this afternoon. We're still expecting good heating and good instability to fuel those storms. As we step forward into the weekend, broken record continues. The hot and stormy pattern stays with us. Possibly less thunderstorm coverage Saturday, though. We're not ready to say it's a completely dry forecast. We do have a couple high-res models that are generating a few isolated thunderstorms, particularly over the southern and eastern highlands as we step into Saturday. But if you're looking for the driest day over the next few days, looks like Saturday will certainly have less coverage. Hottest temperatures that we've seen for the past few days may come Sunday. Again, it's been hot every day. It's been 90 or better every day at most of our population centers, but may see a few more of those 99, even 100-degree readings creep into the region on Sunday. So a little bit of a bump there. Now, as we step into next week, we put a note here, slight cooling next week, but we mean slight. We're still looking at 90s for the majority of the region. We just may be looking at some more lower 90s for some of our population centers versus those mid to upper 90s. So it's still a very similar weather pattern. It's still quite hot out there, but just shave a few degrees off, and certainly we'll take what we can get as far as some relief. And certainly some locales in the mountains, we'll see some upper 80s for highs as well. Also looking at fewer thunderstorms. Very early look at some of the model guidance. A little bit drier pattern as we head into next week, at least for a few days. Still may see a few isolated thunderstorms during the afternoon periods for some areas, but compared to what we've seen the last few days, perhaps just a little bit drier to go along with that slightly cooler temperature profile. Taking a look at the risk outlook here day by day, very similar to what we've shown you each of the past few mornings. We did go with a moderate risk again today for many areas here because of that thunderstorm threat. Again, gusty winds, lightning, certainly going to be hazards there. We have the heat continuing right through the forecast, particularly in the Snake Plain, the Magic Valley, down into the South Hills and Raft River region, also up into the Chalice area. You can see some other thunderstorm hazards here sprinkled in, particularly for the weekend, but drier for most areas Monday and Tuesday. Breezy on Monday. If we can pick out one day here over the next 5 days that looks like the wind might be the strongest, it is looking like Monday is the day, and I'll show you that visually here in just a moment. We do have another red flag warning that is in effect for this afternoon and evening across a couple of our fire weather zones across the southern forecast area here. We're looking at south of Burley and south of Pocatello, and that is due to scattered thunderstorm coverage and that lightning risk once again. Satellite this morning, a little, at least something different compared to what we've seen the last few days. We do have some clouds that are out there this morning. You can see the shield of clouds here over portions of Nevada and Utah that is lifting north-northeast into our forecast area. So clouds will be streaming over the region over the course of the morning. They're going to tend to trend to the east as we go into the afternoon, clearing from the west. We think we are going to get some breaks of sunshine in there to help fuel that heating and that destabilization and that thunderstorm risk. But a little bit more cloud cover this morning than what we've seen the past few days. Quick look at lightning yesterday, too, and this really illustrates the two favored corridors that we've seen light up just about every day. Again, we've seen some isolated storms just about everywhere, but you can see a concentration of lightning here down across the southern highlands, generally to the south of Burley and Pocatello. Very similar area that we're expecting to light up today as one of our favorite thunderstorm corridors. We've also seen quite a bit of activity up here toward Oneida Pass, up along the Montana border, a little bit into the eastern central mountains as well, and a few strikes elsewhere. Again, this is just cloud-to-ground lightning shown on this graphic. It does not include all of the in-cloud lightning that we see with the storms as well. Here's a look at those high temperatures today. Maybe a degree or two cooler than yesterday. Not by much, though. We're still getting up into the 90s for most of our lower elevation population centers. Maybe even upper 90s into the eastern Magic Valley. Haley, you'll make a run at 90 today. 84 over in Driggs, just a touch better. And, of course, Island Park. You usually check in a little cooler. We're forecasting 82 degrees for you today. Severe weather outlook looks almost identical to what we've seen the past couple days. Again, broken record here. General thunderstorm risk for pretty much everyone across the forecast area. Better risk of severe weather as you head to the northeast up into Montana, where they have a marginal risk. Again, we have had at least one severe thunderstorm warning issued each afternoon for the past couple days here in southeast Idaho as well. So while we're generally not looking at a big severe weather threat, again, keep an eye out for those gusty winds. See maybe a cell or two out there that tries to exceed our severe criteria. Before we step forward to Saturday, I am going to bring another screen in here, and just like we often do in these scenarios, we're going to take a look at one of our high-resolution models and see how it thinks things are going to play out today. Again, we're looking for the general trends in the model, the general flavor of the model. Don't pay too much attention on exactly which city is going to be hit at an exact time. We have lots of these models that we look at, and certainly each one is going to give you a slightly different picture and placement on those thunderstorms. So kicking off at 11 o'clock, maybe a shower down over the Bear Lake region, but not much going on. Stepping forward to noon and then 1 p.m., again, maybe another shower, maybe a flash of lightning down here in the southeast over Bear Lake, but otherwise, we're still quiet. We're still just about ready to initiate some thunderstorm activity. Again, 2 p.m. is our favored start time. So 2 p.m., we see a few cells pop up. 3 p.m., again, we're seeing that activity fire off the terrain here from the eastern central mountains up into Montana. We're also seeing development down here across the southern and eastern highlands, including this corridor from Caribou County and near Driggs down to near Pocatello and then down across the hills here all the way to Cassia County. And I think this is going to be that favored corridor, same favored corridor lighting up again this afternoon. By 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock, continue to see some development out there. You can see a couple other cells filling in here as well. Again, even if you're seeing some dry patches, like right here over Arco, there is a risk of an isolated thunderstorm for just about anywhere at some point this afternoon and evening, so don't let your guard down. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, we trend all that activity off to the east here, generally east of I-15. Model has another little cell down here toward the Utah border. Generally starting to dry out by 7 o'clock across the central mountains and at least the western portions of the Snake Plain and eastern Magic Valley. And then by 8 o'clock this evening, we should be just about done, maybe a lingering shower or storm up near Island Park, but right around this time, expecting everything to shut down as we start to cool just a little bit and stabilize for the day. Stepping forward to Saturday, again, our driest day. We're not ready to say it's completely dry forecast, but drier compared to the adjacent days, maybe just an isolated thunderstorm in a couple of our mountains, particularly here in the south and east. Temperatures very similar, topping out in the generally the 90s for most population centers, 95 in Pocatello, 98 out in Jerome and Twin Falls, 96 up in Salmon. The valleys up here do get quite warm here in the central mountains down where some of the larger cities are located. Sunday, you can see that heat build just a little bit more, a little bit darker orange shading filling in here. This is right now looking like the warmest day by a couple degrees. 99 your forecast high here in Pocatello, 97 down in Preston, 97 out in Twin Falls. Stepping forward to Monday, over here on the left, we do lose a couple degrees. Remember, we're talking about maybe slight Slight cooling for the first few days of next week. Temperatures generally mid 80s to mid 90s, depending on where you're located. So we lose just a few degrees there, and we'll certainly take what we can get. Over here on the right, again, I told you Monday is looking like the breeziest day in the forecast, and this is a look at our current wind gust forecast for Monday afternoon and evening. Anywhere you see yellow shading or better, we're looking at wind gusts over 30 miles an hour, maybe 40 miles an hour for some spots here over the Arco Desert and some of the higher terrain in the eastern central mountains. Just about everybody region-wide, though, gusting over 25 in the current forecast for Monday. And finally, wrapping up with Tuesday. Again, Monday, Tuesday, looking mostly dry at this juncture. And again, a little bit cooler on temperatures, holding 83 in Island Park. Still getting into the 90s, though, for places like Pocatello, Idaho Falls, down toward Burley, down toward Sweetser Summit as well. Just a little bit more on the lower 90s side instead of the mid to upper 90s. So might feel just a hint better there for next week. Remember, with all the heat out there, this long duration pattern that we're in with lots of 90-plus degree readings, remember to practice your heat safety. Drink plenty of water, even if you don't feel thirsty. Wear that loose, light-fitting clothing, light-colored clothing. Take some breaks. Air conditioning is best. If you can't find air conditioning, the shade is the second best thing. Reminder here on heat exhaustion and heat stroke signs. These are certainly things to watch for if you're out recreating or working in your friends and your family members and your coworkers. So feel free to pause here on this slide if you need to review those. Also remember the pets. Animals can die of heat stroke within 15 minutes if they're left in a hot car, and cracking the windows does not make a significant difference. The temperature still gets dangerously hot. If you see a pet or a person or a baby in an unattended vehicle, do not leave until the problem has been resolved. Possibly the owner can be located within just a few minutes. If not, that is a scenario to call 911. So everyone, please look out for each other with the hot temperatures continuing. And that's it for your hazard briefing this morning. As always, if you have questions, comments, concerns, and would like to reach out to us, you can do so here via the information at the bottom of this screen. And everyone, enjoy your Friday.